Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back to another podcast episode here. Today, it's going to be a little bit different. Last time we did some true crimes. Go check that out if you didn't. But today, we're going to be talking about some like paranormal evidence and stuff along those lines. I have my good friend Tagan here with me. So that's awesome. So we're both pretty into paranormal stuff, I would say so. Like, it's quite fascinating. We watch all the videos.
We definitely haven't gone ghost hunting together, so.
Yeah, we dabbled a little bit in the ghost hunting ourselves. I have a spirit box. You're cool like that.
Definitely not about to go stay in a haunted hotel this weekend.
So. Oh, that's so exciting. Next time we'll have to talk about that. In case maybe, you got something cool.
Yeah, if I get yeeted out the window or something, I don't know.
Dude, if I'm gonna die, that's how I want to go out. Make it a story, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I kind of have a little bit of a rough outline, but in general, I just kind of want to talk about what evidence there is, because there's so many different forms of like what people would consider paranormal evidence. But I always find myself, I definitely believe, do you believe in ghosts?
I think so, I would say. I feel like I'm like 95%.
Yeah.
The 5% is just like a little bit of doubt that's like, oh, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. I think I would say I'm about the same. For me, that like 5% or whatever that not percentage is like, am I just too stupid to like understand this? Like, oh, well, no, duh, it's the scientific explanation of this or whatever. But in general, I definitely agree that there's some sort of spirits or energy or like something that we can't necessarily see with our own eyes. I don't know. Sometimes I'm skeptical on whether or not it's actually, oh, it's your grandma or whatever. Like maybe it's not. Maybe it's some sort of energy picking up on your energy. I don't know.
It's just some random dude who's like, I like you, and you're like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I personally, so as far as like kind of experiences or like why I might believe in this, is I haven't had anything crazy happen. I know, I'd say there was two kind of what I would consider probably paranormal, because I haven't been able to come up with like a true other explanation, I guess. And it's that one time at my old job, at a fast food place, we had an ice machine, and on the ice machine there's like the mechanism part of it, right? Well, there's this cover that like goes on and slides on. Well, I came in to open at like 7:30 in the morning, and I was all by myself. And so no one had been there since, 9 o'clock the night before, right? Yeah. So it's been there for, it's not like someone was just in the building. But I'd come in at 7:30, and, opening drawers, clocking in, all that stuff. And it just, like, falls off.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure, like, technically you could be like, oh, it's a vibration. I didn't turn anything on. It wasn't like, oh, you started something. There's nothing nearby it to, like, turn on, like, cause vibrations or anything like that. So I don't know, that happened. That was really freaky. Of course, it was 7:30 in the morning, and I was all by myself, so of course it was scary, whatever, right? But it fell. I will say this isn't my second reason, but one thing that also happened at that place, my coworkers and I were in the back prepping stuff, and we had a speaker playing music.
Oh, yeah.
And we were sitting there just prepping stuff, and it decided to just fall right as it almost hit him. Right as he turned around to like grab something off the table behind him, it fell right where he was standing.
Oh, no.
And that moment was like, oh my God. So, whatever. Anyways, he was freaking out about it. We tell our boss, we're like, hey, like, check the cameras. He's like, I didn't break it, because he's notorious for breaking things. He's like, I didn't break it. He's like, check the cameras. That time frame skipped. Like, they didn't record. And we have the cameras that record constantly, not like some places where it's
like where it's only
just motion. Even if it was motion, we were actively standing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just completely skipped that frame.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen inside of a speaker. These were one of the speakers that had like the cement like block in the middle of it.
Oh.
And so it just went everywhere. Crazy deal. Anyways, like it could have done damage to him.
That would have I would have been like, I'm clocking out, I'm going home.
He literally did, because he had opened that morning and worked till like, I don't know, 3 or whatever, and I came in at 2, and we were the managers like switching off. And so he was like, I'm leaving. And I was like, it's okay, go home. I was like, it's fine. Because he was actually behind on prep that morning. That's why we were working together to finish it. And then the ghosts or whatever, or somehow, even though these speakers have hung up for like a few years, they decided to fall that day almost on top of him. That's the thing. I don't know. The one other experience, I don't know, I guess this one could be explained, but one other experience I've had that I felt more like there was something there, was actually here at the History Center where we're filming. Wow. Up on the, like, we have a 3rd floor event space, so it's just like this wide open room. I went up there into the kitchen area to see if there was any batteries, and so I'm like in the kitchen with my back towards the door, or the staircase, like door to the staircase, and I full on feel like step all across the room behind me. I thought it was my coworker coming up to help me, and I was like, dude, I don't need your help, like, it's fine. I literally started turning around being like, nah, or like, I think I found them, and I was like, it's okay, I found them, and then I was like I started my sentence. That's how much I thought he was right there. And he wasn't there, and I was just like, okay. And it was right before we went to go film a haunted video. Right as we were doing like our October special, we were on our way. We literally were getting batteries for the mic, I think, and it was like,
that's kind of what we do here when we're setting up. We just hear like creak, 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 step, 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 whisper, 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 and we're like, okay,
yeah, it's fine,
it's fine.
Yeah. So if you hear little like clicks and stuff, well, today it might be the music. There's music going on next door. Hopefully that's
they're partying.
Just a little.
They're
while.
having fun. It's all right. Hopefully.
But no, there's points we noticed last time filming the podcast that I have 2 cameras set up, and the autofocus randomly went blurry at the exact same like point as if someone was walking in front of us or something. That was like, that's crazy to me. I don't know, as far as evidence. How about you? Any stories or anything you want to share or anything you've heard of?
Well, TLDR, my mom died when I was little.
TLDR.
Just getting right into it. So like a week after that happened, and maybe you could like chalk it up to like sleep deprivation, because I wasn't sleeping a lot during that time. But the house I had, it was kind of like, we had like, it's kind of hard to explain, but I was going to the bathroom, long story short, and it's in this like hallway, but it's like kind of out of the way, so you kind of have to go like, you know. So I was walking to the kitchen, which is a straight shot to that turn, and you go, and I see what I think is my mom just kind of like peer out.
That is like my nightmare.
I didn't have to go to the bathroom anymore, so.
Problem solved.
I was like, no. I was like, please don't do that again. That was like my worst nightmare. Like, you know, I was like the kind of kid who thought like Chucky was a scary movie. So that for me, just the pop out was just like a little too much for me. So I was like, I'm usually pretty vocal about like, if something does happen to me, like kind of like that kind of, because my childhood home was just a little bit, I think, just a little bit haunted.
Got some energy in there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Living in the basement of that house was a little terrifying, but I got over it.
Yeah.
It made me stronger. But anyway, I'm a bit vocal about like, hey, that's kind of freaking me out. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I still like totally like faced the wall when I was sleeping, because if I like turned the other way, I could definitely see like just kind of figures there. So I was just like, I can't see you if I'm facing the wall.
Yeah. Kind of like, if I don't look at it, it won't be scary.
It's not there.
So
I did the whole like hiding under the covers. It's not there. I'm safe.
I'm fine. It's fine. So we will hear, again, because, you know, it's a museum. There's a whole bunch of old artifacts from literally, 100 years ago. And so, there's a lot of energy here. We will, whenever we go into the basement, especially, because that's where we kind of keep the actual collections that are on display, we will be like, hey guys, like, we're here, not trying to intrude your space, I just need to get this, or whatever, and then, like, before we leave, like, all right, good night, we'll see you next time, that kind of thing, so I'm just like, I wanna,
Yeah, I'm surprised our house hasn't, like...
I haven't noticed anything.
The only time that, like, something a little off happened was when we were, like, actively working on it. Me and Cody were in the same room, and his, nephew, niece, his niece was kind of, like, working with, she was just hanging out with us, because she likes to hang out with us. And she was working in the other room, and she went, Cody, stop touching me. And he was literally, we were right next to each other, because I was painting the living room at the time up on the ladder, and he was handing me paint, and he just went, we just looked at each other, and we were like, well,
yeah.
Other than that, nothing's happened.
I've never experienced anything. I know you had said, like, when you guys first moved in, about, like, the upstairs being maybe a little more spooky, or, like, you kind of hear sounds. That's where I live.
Yeah.
And I haven't noticed anything, or I don't feel anything. I don't know.
I think our house has, like, good energy. Like,
I think so, too.
TLDR, our house was built in like the year 1900, so
Yeah.
you know, she old, but it's okay.
She in rough shape, but we're getting there. Got some history.
Walk-in showers happening.
Yeah, one day.
One day.
So, kind of for my first whole segment, I think one of the first things people think about, or one of the most common evidence caught by people, by everyday folk, is probably like orbs, right? You know, you see them a lot of times in photos, especially if you use your flash, or sometimes taking videos, especially in today's age where everyone's taking videos constantly. You know, people will be like, you know, I went to go film this, and oh my gosh, there was that orb, and whatever. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that kind of?
I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
But I know, like, sometimes you can brush it off as dust, especially if it's, like... But the ones that are, like, really crazy, where it's, like, they have, like, a solid direction of, like... Those kind of, like... I don't know how it works, though. That's the only thing. Yeah. But I feel like, you know, kind of, like...
Yeah. So, another thing I also want to mention getting into this is Tagan and I have both been a part of a local paranormal group investigation.
Oh, yeah.
They did an investigation here at the History Center, and we both went to it. I think it's been a couple years ago now. And I've been to a good handful with them at different places. And that's like one of the main things they talk about is orbs. And it's like, okay, well, they carry this energy. And they're them being like an official group, people will submit stuff to them and be like, do you think this is a ghost? Like, do you think this is an orb? And they're like, my guy, that's a grasshopper. like, get out of here. You know, that kind of thing. So I definitely think it's a lot of bugs. I know even on our like doorbell camera,
we get it all the time.
We get like stuff that looks like it. And I know there was one time that there was this weird, it almost looked like a glitch. Do you remember me showing you this clip? I remember that, yeah. It was like 4 a.m. and I got a like motion detection thing on our doorbell camera. I was like, what? And I was like, just curious, you know. And it was like this weird, almost like a black, like
yeah,
I
remember.
Broke
it literally,
camera.
like it was like.
But if you kind of keep watching, you can see that sometimes cameras, especially the night vision mode, will pick up bugs that way, like pick up the wings and stuff like that, or like if they're reflective bugs, they'll kind of mess with it. So there's that. So now I personally think that I've caught a couple orbs on like my phone and during those investigations, the paranormal experts, I suppose. I shouldn't put air quotes because they are, I suppose. I don't know what technically makes you an expert. I don't really know. They're part of a group. I think that makes them an expert.
They do ghosty stuff.
They do stuff. Expert. But they said that they believe that they were orbs, and I could put them on camera for the YouTube's videos. Sorry, I don't have them for you to see, but I think you've seen them before.
Yeah.
I've caught a couple of them, and it's just like, you can see dust, and dust usually kind of falls, or like the air kicks on, and it'll go like, one kind of flowy, like, okay, that makes sense, the air is going that way, right?
Yeah.
But these were kind of like either fast or like kind of floating almost. So it's like one or the other, and they're more like perfectly round. I don't know.
Yeah, because like I have like a ton of like, because I was telling you, like the basement of my childhood home, it felt a little like you're going upstairs and it feels like someone's gonna like, you know, like get you. Not like get you, it wasn't bad, but it just felt like somebody was, like I was telling you, like what you were talking about earlier, like somebody's behind you when you are going upstairs, you can feel it. Yeah. So a lot of like my child, because we'd have like birthday parties down there, because like it was like a second like living room, but like it was more of like a entertainment space, play Guitar Hero, all that stuff. A lot of like the birthday party photos, because my sister would have like big bashes. There's just, you could see it like whenever like we take group photos, orb, and it's always like right there, like where like an empty space, so like where a person would be, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah. And I know some people will find ones that are specific like color, and they'll think that has to do with some sort of type of energy or type of like spirit or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm kind of, again, hit or miss, because it's like you just don't know. Looking at photos, if you search, you know, orb photos online,
it could be
most
like
of those are probably
dust.
fake. Most of them are probably dust. Most of them are probably just like, you don't know the situation.
Yeah.
And that's why when I'm like taking them myself, I found the best way, if anybody's interested in taking orb photos, the best way to get them, or videos rather, is to put the live action setting on your phone, turn that on to where it takes those like 3 seconds right before you take the photo.
Oh, yeah.
Because like when you turn on that flash, like, and take photos with a flash, you'll kind of really see everything. Again, a lot of them are dust, but some of them are a little bit more unusual, and I'm just like, again, if it's not, I don't know, some of them I'm like, again, it could be a moth, it could be a bug, it could be whatever, or dust or dirt or something like that, cat hair, I don't know. But it's just kind of interesting. One thing I found, so I have a few little pieces of kind of evidence or examples that are kind of found were fun, mostly from Reddit, like the paranormal evidence page. And one of these I found, let's see if I can get it loaded up here, or when people take photos and they have like a shadow figure or a face or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So like the next step from orbs, right?
Yeah, that's when
like an actual
like
figure.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Chicken skin.
No chicken skin. Get your chicken skin out of here. So I'll put it up on screen. I'll show you. Show you this photo. Let you kind of study it. It's a side profile of a face.
Where am I seeing it at? I'm blind. Oh.
It's like a nose sticking out kind of behind her head.
Oh my goodness.
Now, as creepy as this photo is, and as much as like I could be like, it's kind of weird. It has a completely different lighting than like everybody else in the photo.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll give you the TLDR of what they posted about. But essentially, they went on a trip to this. I think was it actually a lighthouse? Oh, it was just a like spiral staircase. But yeah, so a lot of people were saying that. I guess. Yeah, some people were saying that like, it's it's whatever. But there's other people that were like, it could just be her hair lighting it, and I'm just like, I don't know. That has like full on definition of a face.
Hair
Brother,
doesn't
that's
have
a face.
eyebrows. That's an eyebrow. You can see it like I don't know. Like
Yeah,
it's
the nose. You can see like
you
the
can see
definition.
like side profile. You can like see it. You can see like the little bump. You can see the fucking nostril. Like
yeah. Now, so like as much as that's creepy, I hate photos on the internet, and this is what makes
like,
it so hard.
You never know if it's somebody like
They could have just taken that photo and been like, that's kind of creepy.
shit,
Yeah, because that's what people do, which is insane.
Or been like, let's get this snippet. Stand behind me so we can get like a little bit of your nose.
Yeah, or just again, even if it just happened, like you know, there could have been a person standing behind him. I mean, it is a little weird. It does seem that the lighting's a little different than maybe the rest of them, but it also looked like there might have been a window.
They looked very pale.
Okay, so kind of the next point of topic I have here are EVPs, electric voice phenomenons, right? So that's when you hear the voices of like, someone talking to you, or you look back at the footage and you're like, oh my god, there was a response. A lot of times they'll have some sort of small recorder with them if you watch like any sort of paranormal show. They'll have some sort of voice recorder with them, they'll be like, state your name, and they'll wait, and they'll ask like 3 questions and ask like leave like 5-10 seconds in between or whatnot. What do you feel about that?
I mean, I feel like maybe like sometimes it's definitely like a response. About like what the response is a bit more like I feel like up to it gets more like interpretation, because like most of the time the response is like a like it's like a
or I hate when you watch a show, and again we watch all sorts of shows. We watch Sam and Colby, we watch like
Ghost Adventures, but mostly we make fun of it.
Yeah. Who let him wear his pants that low?
We watched the first episode.
Crazy.
But we're fully out. It was a full moon.
It was.
Anyway.
Like investigating werewolves or something. Damn. Okay. Anyways, when you watch those shows, a lot of times they'll have some sort of EVP phenomenon, or they'll hear a voice and you're like, oh, did you hear that? And then it'll play it and it'll put on screen like the words they think it said,
and then it's like think that's what it says.
Yeah, because you're reading it. So I always try to close my
because like with like the Yanny and the Laurel thing.
Exactly.
If you like read the word Laurel, you like I don't know, it was a trend, but you can hear it, and if you thought about it, you can hear it. So it's like I don't know. It's up to interpretation. I do think there's a response. They probably just don't really have like enough oomph to say it clearly,
Yeah, it's just again, it's like it's so hard because I'm fascinated with the like documenting side of it and the filming it, the paranormal investigations. But it's always like you don't know unless you're there. You don't. Even if you really trust people, like I feel like Sam and Colby, pretty legit. But at the same time, like they could easily be, like all of these ghost hunters in the world could just be like faking it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of crazy to think about. because it's also like human imagination is
Because I
powerful.
think that's why a lot of people like go out and they go do it themselves. Like you get like all the people who just kind of do it like sometimes. They're like, yeah, I've done it a couple of times, like just to see for myself. So that way,
kind of how we've gone out a
that's
couple
kind of
little
what we've
places,
done.
and done that. I mean, even again going back to the paranormal group here, going on. Now these are like group public tours that we've been on. So there's 20 to 30 people, all interested who probably paid to experience this. So of course they're going to try to,
Ramp it up.
kind of, play into it. But a part of this group, there's many different people. And there's a few people who I'm like, yeah, like you, I think get the skeptical side of it of like, yeah, that was something, but like maybe not. Or like maybe that's not what that meant. Then there's a few people that just lean in so hard and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, they just, I don't know, it kind of feels like cheesy almost because they go like really into it and they're like, yeah, that was definitely it. I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
You gotta leave some room for like, okay, maybe that was like the vent it turned on or something. I don't know. Maybe somebody like, because it's hard to do an investigation when there's like 30 people in the room because somebody might have like shuffled, somebody coughed, somebody sneezed, somebody, because like especially here you shift on the floors.
It's loud.
One wrong way. Secrets. It's like,
Yeah. There's no secrets.
There's a noise for every movement you make.
And and I'm not saying that necessarily what they say is wrong or that it wasn't a paranormal evidence or whatever. It's just like it's just like, man, like chill. Let's like kind of deduct the situation. Like, okay, was that creak something?
Yeah. See if you can recreate it. Basically, try to debunk it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I forgot the word for debunk.
Oh, I was gonna say even ourselves, like we've mentioned, going on a couple kind of little investigations ourselves. You actually didn't go, but you watched the footage back with us when Christian and I went to Bird Bridge here. And right, or was that when did we go together?
We went once together. That was when we almost got eaten by a wolf.
Right, when I almost died because I was in the Estes method, and you guys were like, and I was like, did something happen? And you go, yeah, there's a coyote right there.
Oh, coyote. Yeah, coyote.
Was that you in the woods?
Did you just make a noise?
Sun?
The sun's not out right now.
Are you talking about a child?
Free?
Not a child.
Was that?
Oh, maybe it is a child. Are you trying to tell us there's a coyote out there that might bite us?
Are you warning us?
It was like a whistle.
There's a coyote. I just heard it.
Oof.
There's a coyote. Let's go. To be fair, it did. I forgot what it did say. It said like.
It was saying some spooky stuff. I have the footage of it.
It was saying like coyote-related stuff, and I was like, "It's time to go."
Yeah, it said dogs, I think, or something like that.
It said something like that.
And then you heard the rustling in the bushes, like right next to me, and it was just like,
Well, it was like kind of telling us to leave. It was like, "Good night, go, go home." And I was like, "Okay."
That was very interesting to experience, by the way, the Estes method. I think that's a very popular method people do. Basically, if anybody should be watching this and not know, essentially you take a spirit box, which is a little like radio device that scans frequencies really, really fast, and then it spits out words that have more energy connected to them in a sense. So one person will plug headphones in, put a blindfold on.
Okay.
It's all good. We're on the second floor too. We're not on the third floor, so nothing should be. It's not like the outside up there. It's next floor. Okay. But you put headphones on, a blindfold on, and you just kind of listen to the sound of the spirit box, and then other people will be asking questions, and you will take kind of those words, and the person listening will say them basically. Anyways. But that was a fun experience. I think that's interesting. I find that as one of the most kind of believable ones, I guess.
I feel like so because if you can't the person can't truly hear anything that you're asking.
Yeah, it's non-biased.
You can't really manipulate what you're saying because I'm asking questions and like you're answering without even knowing what I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's pretty like, solid.
You know, I have the stuff to do the Estes method here, right?
Just does it on the podcast.
All right, screw all this shit right now. No, I found it very interesting. It was very interesting to be the person in the Estes method. Because it's also kind of weird because where we're doing it, we're near a local town. We're not like completely out in the middle of nowhere, so you get the local radio stations chiming in here and there. Like I know it was talking about Butterfinger or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's probably just like a Butterfinger ad, right? Butterfinger and Reese's. I don't know.
Oh, are you hungry?
That's so weird because I never hear that on the radio.
It's true.
So
I don't think
weird.
I've heard of Butterfinger
You
ad.
just were like Butterfinger, and I was like,
It was like Reese's Butterfingers or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't know. I will say the very first time I bought a spirit box, I brought it to work because I got it. It came in the mail right as I was leaving for work, and it was a day that I worked all by myself here, at least in the morning. And so I turned it on while I was coming up, turning on all the lights and everything. And so I was like walking around, and I was like, hey, I just got this device. If anybody wanted to say anything real quick just to see if it works, and I did get, I can't remember off the top of my head what it said.
I feel
But
like
it said something
about lucky or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, and it said something about like, I was like, we're getting ready to open for the day. Are you ready? And it was like, oh, we're ready or something like that. And I was like, are you kidding me? I just got this thing. Like, what? And something about that. And it said something about, yeah, I think I asked it about like, do you recognize me or do you remember me? And it said something about like being lucky or something. I can't remember. But I thought that was crazy.
It'd probably just be like, you're lucky you get to be with me every day.
Probably. But yeah, we had heard whenever we went to the bridge, we had heard like a little something, but we didn't know. It kind of sounded like a breath. Could have been our friend Christian, like breathing or whispering something. If it wasn't him, he swears it wasn't him, but I don't know. It's again.
I don't know.
I was there and I don't even know. I try to be, again, as skeptical as I can, unless it's like, oh.
Because I heard something, because we were both by the TV listening to it, and I was like,
I remember looking at each other being like, did you hear that? Like, that's not me making that up. Because we were looking at, we were out there a super long time, but several, like, probably 30 minutes worth of footage, and then we get to this part and we're like, wait a second. Like, did we actually get something? Next to the lady with her dog. Cuts the clip.
That was good.
Oh, hell no.
You guys also got chased off by a coyote.
Yeah, we did. Huh. The first time I was out at Bird Bridge, there was a dog, like an actual dog, like a pet dog.
Yeah.
The second time I was there was when we were there and we had the coyote there that was chasing the dog, and they were like, oh, hell no.
Can't believe she forgot her dog.
They were so drunk. And then the other time was when we went the last time we went,
Yeah.
the Estes method. The paranormal evidence Reddit, so few things on there. Which
Really?
is so bizarre to me. So there's paranormal, I think there's just like r/paranormal. That's pretty relatively bop, and that's usually people just telling their stories. But there's an actual paranormal evidence page. It's just like nothing. Like there's no comments on this. Like, wouldn't you think there'd be comments on this post?
You think so?
But yeah, so there was that. So that's why I was like,
Is it new or is it old?
It's 2 months ago.
Oh.
So
Fairly new.
newish, but
Newish.
still, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird. To be fair, I didn't comment on it, but I don't usually comment.
Maybe it's just a bunch of lurkers.
Probably. Shout out to the lurkers.
Not you guys up there.
Shout out to you lurkers. Poke their head around the corner.
Oh fuck! No, please don't. I'm facing like the corner.
It is. Oh, so that was one other story from the History Center. We had somebody, a friend of one of us was here, and they went. Basically, the bathroom here, you have to like go down a hallway. But when you go down this hallway to go to the bathroom, there's staircases to the basement, and then there's a door that has a window, so you can like see into the basement a little bit.
Yeah.
And somebody swears they saw somebody walk by when there was nobody else in the building.
Yeah.
And that's, anyways, there's loads of good.
That's why I don't go to that bathroom. It's too scary for me.
Every time I walk there by myself, I go like this, trying to look away from the door, because like if I see that, I'm not coming back to work. But essentially, yes.
I know, that's why when we're both in here by ourselves, I'm like, do you want to go to this together?
Yeah, we'll be here, and like I forgot something downstairs, and I'll be like, hey, I gotta go grab this, and Tagan's like, I'm gonna come with you. But yeah.
Well, because I think we separated like the one time, and it was too intense for me. I couldn't. Yeah.
You stayed up and heard that one loud crashing sound, I think is what that was. Which we've been told since then that was probably like the AC unit right above us. I don't know. It just was a lot for that.
It was a lot.
When we were in the kitchen the last time and it was like right there, I don't know. I don't know.
I swear to God, it sounded.
I didn't hear the AC kick on or anything like that.
Cause like
But
I feel like I know what the AC kicking on sounds like. Cause then you hear the air afterwards. There was no air afterwards. There was no comforting. It was just crash.
Yeah, it sounded like somebody dropped a whole bunch of stuff upstairs.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like somebody dropped a whole bunch of boxes.
Yeah.
It's almost like they used to use that as a storage room for boxes and stuff for the furniture store that used to be here. Eddie? Should I not call out their name while we're here?
I feel like you're now I'm like paranoid. He's like.
Anyways, we could probably do a whole podcast on just like the history, center, spirits, and stuff like that, which would be really fun to do one day. But besides that, I think getting back kind of onto our train of thought, one of the biggest difference in my mind between like orbs and EVPs or any sort of like voice evidence, spirit box, whatnot, is that it kind of starts to bridge the gap between like what's intelligent and what's just like a reaction, right? Because it's you can't really, I mean, you can't, technically you could be like, hey, if you're there, stand there, I'm gonna take your photo, but like you're not really gonna get a response out of that, right?
No.
Whereas when you do the EVPs, you can, like I said, ask a question and be like, hey, what's your name? You know, where are you? Who are you? Whatever, and hear something. So that to me is what I think one of the biggest things when I watch the paranormal shows or when I've done the paranormal investigations in real life is figuring out what was actually an intelligent response and what was actually like just kind of whatever. Like you get an EMF radar, you know, that's going to give you your little dots that spike when you have energy, right? Now, obviously that'll go off if you hold it up to a plug-in or a light or whatever, right? So something I always notice, they'll be like, okay, you know, if this is you, bring it up, you know, a color or whatever, like go to yellow or go to red, whatever. And it's like, okay, but even if it is a response from some sort of spirit, they just turn off the music, it's really quiet.
Yeah, it's got really quiet.
It should have started now. What time is it? Dang. 10 o'clock. They stop at 10? Come on.
I thought they were a bar. Are they not a bar?
I don't know what they do.
Oh, I don't know.
I just know they throw parties. they got bobbin tunes.
No,
they're back.
we spoke to them.
They heard us. They were like, let's keep going. But yeah, trying to figure out what, you know, when you hear a tap across the room, when you're like, if that was you tap, it's like, okay, is that actually that person you're asking for?
I feel like if you can get it to happen like multiple times, like then like you're pretty solid. But if it was just like the one time it doesn't happen again, then I go kind of like.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, maybe, because it's also, I also do believe that I do believe that some sort of energy or spirit or whatever it is, I do believe that they're limited on that power or whatever. So when they do it once, they may not be able to have enough energy to do it again. So there's kind of that line too. But also just, yeah, like that. Hold on, guys, we're almost done, and then you guys can go to sleep. I'm so sorry you have to listen to this music every night. That must be so irritating. Imagine being from, like, the 1800s and having to listen to that every night.
Despacito.
They're just over here, like... Poor dudes. But yeah, I that's something I've always struggled with whenever I watch videos. It's like, they're like, oh, you're the little boy who's 4 years old, and then they continue to talk to them like they're an adult.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or it's like, or they'll be somewhere that maybe they didn't speak English.
Yeah.
And it's like
no habla English.
Yeah, it's like, wouldn't you get, I mean, I have seen some on like the Estes method will get like Spanish or you know, like a different language, which I think is very interesting. But yeah, trying to figure out, okay, if you die as a little kid, do you get to like continue to learn English or whatever?
Yeah, like does your like,
Is there a
does
universal
their,
tongue?
like, mentality like keep progressing? Like, I'm a 40-year-old trapped in a 7-year-old's body, you know?
Yeah.
Like, well, not really body, but you know.
Yeah, because most kids, I'm gonna say most kids who would die, unfortunately, probably not unfortunate that they don't know this, but fortunate that they died. They probably don't comprehend necessarily
A lot.
spirits. I mean, I do believe that children are more like perceptive, and because they're more open-minded to like, you know, you always see, oh, if a kid's like, my friend was playing with me, I'm like, That happened. Same with animals. I trust my cats so much. If I think I hear something, if they're not like growling, I'm fine.
I don't trust Banny. He's got PTSD.
He attacks everything. He attacks himself sometimes.
It's those flashbacks.
Yeah. But I trust my cats sometimes to be like, it's like if I hear something in the night and they're just like still snoozing away, and I'm like, okay.
I think the only cat I wouldn't trust is Shadow. He'll stare at a wall for 10 minutes.
You know, I don't know. I think I trust him more because of
Really?
it. I think he for sure sees stuff.
Oh no.
When you said he caught him staring in the mirror, purring at himself.
Yeah. No, that's my bedroom. Don't. I'm gonna be coming up to your room and like, can I have a sleepover?
Because you said he was just standing there, so he was just sitting there staring at the mirror, and just all of a sudden he started purring while looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah. I just thought he was narcissistic.
I mean, I think that is, but I think he's just weird. I don't know if I trust him. I think it depends on the day. He's kind of like one of those, like, definitely a person with, like, mental health issues who, like, sometimes they're on it, and then there's other times where they're purring at themselves in the mirror. Yeah, when he's lucid, I trust him. He's not having it. Oh dear. I don't even remember what I was talking about anymore, but yeah, I guess intelligent responses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much it. I guess the whole thing is do you trust it? Do you not trust it? Do you find it out yourself? How do you find out with yourself?
I think that's like why it's so much like controversy of whether or not it exists or it doesn't, because it's not like, you know, solid.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I have a belief though that there are so many people in the world that have had these experiences. Something has to be true. Like something to some
extent.
level, to some like form. There has to be something. Literally, how many people make a living off the idea of this?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a little bit of a jump here because the camera stopped recording. I have no idea why.
We definitely didn't record the whole thing and then have to go back.
It was only this last bit, so
that's fine.
you know, I think anyways. So I don't know why that happened, but so we're gonna kind of try to retrace our steps here, you know, and hopefully. I was getting ready to get into some crazy stuff. A few other little sightings here.
Unseen.
So now, Tagan's already seen these.
I've never seen this. What are you talking about?
Let's test your acting
This is
skills.
my first time.
So this is your first time watching this video.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not safe for work.
Oh my god,
Remember the joke?
Anyssa, we're at work.
Oh my god! Joke about me being at work and watching not safe for work stuff. Oh, that's kind of sad. That was actually really funny.
That was really good.
I have a video from that camera. But it's not going to sound good audio. You'll definitely hear the music in that one.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, you hear that ghost? No
We're at
one's
work.
safe.
Don't try this at work.
You can't be...
AKA you're home.
Oh, okay, let's watch this video. Oh my god. No, but
that
for
still
real,
gets
though,
me.
like,
That still
watching
gets
that
me.
is insane. But yeah, watching something like that, you... Obviously, technically, it could be fake. But
she's
the
like literally
acting,
like, she's like looking around.
the fact that the quality, I mean...
She's like, buy me dinner first.
It is
before you start
kind of a
pulling my
weird
hair.
security camera angle.
It is very
However, her getting her hair pulled like that is just insane. And the confusion, I don't even know how you would necessarily fake that. I mean, you could.
I guess you could.
I don't know how, because she walks up. Unless you had that long of a string that you were just like standing there like pulling as she walks up and then
Actually, just a fishing wire around the end of her ponytail.
yeah, but I think
Just
you'd
like-
be able to see it. I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. That one was crazy to me. I got a couple other crazy ones here. Ones you've never seen before.
Ever, never, and not in my life. No.
This is one from a more recent video we watched, or like Oh, Tenet we just watched all of it. Anyways, okay. But this video, if you watch like right under the stairs, right above the text where it says watch, this one really got to me, got to my soul. Just the little peeking.
Ugh.
It almost
I
looks
hate
like
it.
an animal. It really reminds me of the creepypasta Smile Dog or Smiley Dog. Did you ever look at that or know anything about that?
Exactly in the creep.
Okay, so I was that kid.
I was a little bit, but I didn't delve too far, because then if you delve too far, then you got into some really weird creepypastas where it was very sexual, and I wasn't ready for that.
Well, okay, I didn't get into that.
Well, I guess I always found that, and I went, never mind, I'll just stay back here.
So I can find a photo for you.
Maybe I was just on the wrong side of the internet.
It was like, is this dog? This
Oh,
one. Or
okay,
like,
yeah,
people edited it like
that's
that.
bringing back some memories.
It was essentially like, you know, those like back in the day, I think it's still a thing, but not quite as much, where it was like, oh, if you see this, send this to 10 of your friends or you're gonna die.
Oh, yeah,
that
the
kind of
chainmail
thing.
thing.
Yeah, the chainmail, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, so it was kind of that vibe. Anyways, that's what that those
kind
eyes
of
down
reminded me
there.
of the time that we did the Estes method on Bird Bridge, and I looked up and I saw the guy over there, and I was like, time to go.
I'm like, is everything fine? You're like, I was expecting ghost stuff, and then they were just like,
I was like,
Anyway.
real physical danger. We
Yeah.
need to go.
yeah, for sure. And then I have one more. This one absolutely blows my mind, and it blew our mind in the moment watching it.
Because we had like a little watch party. We were at my house. You can't really see it as well on your phone because we kind of tried it. Like
It's
to,
hard.
Like,
I
it's
can't
really
even see.
hard.
It's hard to see on my iPad.
But I have like a really big TV on like in my living room, and it's like pretty good quality, I'd say.
Yeah.
But you can see it like
it was
clear
so
as day.
obvious.
The f was that?
What was that?
Bro, what the f was that? I just saw somebody. I swear to God, I just saw a fucking shadow walk
I
across.
saw actual just walking.
You see me?
No, 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 no.
And the first time watching this, we like both looked at each other and were like, "What?"
I was like, can we rewind that?
And because they didn't see it then, they didn't even acknowledge it. And so we were like,
we
"Huh?"
were freaking out.
And we were like
We
pausing it,
rewatched it.
replaying it. I was standing like this close to the screen, and it was just like,
it
"Come
was
on!"
just so weird that you could just see like just the legs
Just the-
walking.
it was like, ugh. And it was like, okay, they didn't acknowledge it. Maybe it was like, there was obviously a lot of people there. Maybe somebody was
Yeah.
there. But then later in the video, they go back to it, and the thing that really gets to me is that you can see it through the camera. They're looking, like another camera's filming their camera, watching back this footage, and you can see it on the camera.
Where?
Look,
Where?
look.
Wait, slip back a bit.
What? What the f?
And again, it's super like near impossible to see just on your phone.
Yeah.
But if you have like, a big screen to blow it
'cause
up on.
I remember we were looking really hard because we kept complaining because they kept like every time they'd like change and just be like zoom in, cue zoom in. They'd like zoom in every like 10 seconds and we like chill out.
It was like giving you whiplash, and you're like trying to watch it. Anyways, so we were complaining about that, and then we see this because this is exactly what they did. They zoomed in on the door and then zoomed out. Like zoomed in, you see it, boom, zoomed out, and it was just like what? And they were like, hold on, zoom back.
We were like, time to zoom now.
Yeah,
the time is to zoom.
Go back to zoom. Yes.
But they
No,
didn't.
that was crazy. I think that was one of the most crazy things. And again, seeing it
That
through
was
that
the
camera.
one where it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah,
It gave me chicken skin.
No, no.
I can't believe they said that. I've never heard of that before.
Who says chicken skin? Who says chicken skin unironically?
No, like they didn't do it as a joke. It was just like,
Like,
oh,
oh,
it gave me
oh,
chicken skin. I was like, what is that?
No, not okay. I don't even like goosebumps anymore. I think it's all unreal. I hate it. Triggered. But no, that one super got to me. But yeah, overall, I think paranormal evidence is just super. I mean, subjective. It's like, what do you believe when you watch it? As much as you want to believe, like, I believe Sam and Colby, but like they could totally just be playing us. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. To be fair, last time we talked about a whole bunch of other stuff for like 30 minutes, I swear. Not really, though, but kind of. It felt like.
It was a good 20 minutes. R.I.P.
I recorded on that camera. But, you know. I'll remember. I'm going to go back and watch it and be like, dang it, that was a good joke. That's what TikTok's for. YouTube Shorts. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah. Let me know what you think. If you believe in one thing or another. Oh, we talked about Ouija boards.
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing that I don't mess with personally, because when my dad was younger, he lived in like a violently haunted house, like scratching, pulling, like you'd wake up with the blankets they just were ripped off of you. It like threw the backpacks like down the stairs. Like it was pretty aggressive. I don't know how I lived on that house. I can't, like, the reality of when they live in, like, a violently haunted house and you can't just move.
How did you sleep?
Like, if our house was haunted, I couldn't we have good vibes, though. We have good vibes.
Good vibes, yeah.
But, he did a Ouija board and he asked it how many kids he was going to have, and it told him 3. And I am the youngest child of 3. I have an older brother, older sister, and I am the baby.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've heard a lot of stories recently about Ouija boards and stuff like that. And I'm like, yep, nope, never touching that. Get that out of here. Mm-hmm. No thanks.
That's the only thing. I'm just like, 7 years and up. That's what they sell it for.
Yeah.
7 years old to summon a demon. You gotta wait.
You gotta wait, you know. On your birthday, Jimmy, you can do it.
What did you want for your 7th birthday? A Ouija board.
Dude. The thing is I feel like I would have been that kid to be like, it says 7 and up. Oh, I'm old enough now.
I was even afraid of like stuff like that back then, because like I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely was too. Because like I mentioned, I grew up watching horror movies and everything, and that was like the number one thing you see is, oh, they got a Ouija board, summon, you know.
I know, you're like, I've seen all these horror movies, and I'm like, I think I have. I might have just been so traumatized by it, I blocked it out. Because like Chucky scared the shit out of me.
Chucky is scary though.
Like, I thought, like, we kept it in the DVD cabinet, and it was, like, you know, like a wooden cabinet, and I thought if I opened it where the DVD was, he'd pop out and kill me. Yeah.
That's actually, like, that's a good thought. I think that's legit, and that's actually kind of creepy now. Like, get rid of your Chucky DVDs.
Yeah. He might come out.
They were rough. Also, what a, like, crazy movie series. Anyways.
Oh, it's got a TV series. It's wild.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
It's so, like,
do you want us to review that? Because I'm just kidding.
Add it to the list of things
I haven't finished it. I started it, and then it got to, like, the White House, and I was like, what?
I don't know. He got married, and I don't know. I'm like, bro, this is a doll. But it's not, because it's a dude, but it's also, what?
It's a dude, but a doll, but not a doll.
But not a doll, but not a dude.
Trans. He's trans. His son's trans.
Add that to the
gender fluid. Sorry, he's gender fluid. I just saw that in a TikTok, and it was like, oh yeah, he's for gay rights, and it's just my son's gender fluid, and I'm just like, what? Okay.
I have a queer kid.
You have a kid.
Gender fluid.
What a weird place.
He's like, he's a serial killer, but he's for the gays. So there you go.
A +1 for that.
Went into a weird.
But serial killer, too many negative points to count.
Wrap it back. This went to a weird hole. This went to a
paranormal
weird
evidence. I think it's the thing that exists, but you never know. I don't know. Well, I think
wrap it up.
That's
before I go into a weird rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh no. Before we have to re-record that.
Again. 3rd time's the charm.
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. It's super fun. I would love to do some more like paranormal talks and stuff like that. So if there's anything or like a specific form of evidence or things like that, because there's obviously like 100 other different things, like REM pods are a thing, and like that kind of evidence, motion detectors, all that kind of stuff. Let us know, because we will. But we also, you know, might talk about some other stuff. I have no idea what we'll do next time. These were the 2 podcasts I had planned. Was West Memphis 3 and
we'll figure it out as we go. Maybe we'll do like, am I the asshole?
They won't all be spooky. It's just spooky time.
Yeah.
Okay. I may have said that last time and it was beginning of October and now it's November 14th. So
it's not November. It's still October.
Dang, why does it take you so long to edit? Last time it didn't take. I'm gonna have to put in my graphics and stuff in this one.